Good morning, campers. Welcome back. So today we are going to continue with fractions, but we are going to take it a step up. We are going to add and subtract fractions. So let's get right to it. So yesterday and Monday, I showed you how to compare fractions using the butterfly method if the denominators were different. So today I'm going to use that same method and show you how you can add or subtract fractions using the butterfly method. Okay, so let's start with our first example. 10/3 minus 13/5. Okay, so first we see that the denominators are different. Okay, so first you're going to start off by using that same method I showed you, was making the wings. 10 times 5 gives you 50. Then you're going to do the same thing to the second wing. 13 times 3 gives you 39. Now this is where it gets tricky, okay? Since we're not comparing, we are subtracting. We have to first find a common denominator. And the easiest way to find this common denominator is to multiply the two denominators together. We multiply them, we get 15, okay? So we have 50, 39, over 15. Now, what are we doing with these two numbers here? Just what the problem said. We are subtracting them. So now this becomes 50 over, what was our common denominator? 15 minus 39 over 15. Okay, and then we get our answer. Once we subtract 50 minus 39, we get 11/15. So if you notice, this looks just like a butterfly. We have our first wing, our second wing, and our common denominator. We multiply there. All right, let's do another example. So that was a subtraction example. I'm gonna do one more subtraction and then we'll do two additions. 2/3 minus 1/4. So we're gonna make our wing. Remember, we're not comparing, we're subtracting now. So we're gonna make your wing, same process with the butterfly method. 2 times 4, which is 8. And then 1 times 3, which is 3. So those are our antennas there. 8, 3. Now we're going to combine our denominators by multiplying them. 3 times 4. And the reason we're doing this is we're finding a common denominator, a number they have in common. 3 times 4 is 12. So our common denominator here is 12. So remember, the operation that we're doing is subtracting. So our new fractions now become, and these are also equivalent fractions, 8/12 minus 3/12. Okay, now our denominators are the same. So remember, when we have the same denominator, we keep that denominator. When the denominators are the same, you just bring it over and you do the operation, whatever operation, in this case is subtraction, to the numerators. 8 minus 3, which is 5. So 2/3 minus 1/4 is equal to 5/12. Okay, that was our two subtracting examples. Now we're gonna do two addition examples. Okay, 17/5 minus, actually plus 3/2. 17/5 plus 3/2. Okay, let's do this up. All right, so we're gonna do our butterfly method. 17 times 2, which is 34. Okay, although we are adding these two together, when we combine them to make a wing, we are multiplying. That's the operation that we're doing. And then 3 times 5, which is 15. So those are our two numbers there, 34, 15. And we're going to find our common denominator by multiplying our two denominators, 5 and 2, 5 times 2, which is 10. So our common denominator is 10. And what are we doing with these fractions? We are adding them. So 34. And some people write it like this, because we know that the common denominator is 10. This is another way you could write it. 34 plus 15 over 10. Okay? So that's the same thing. 34 plus 15 is the same as 34 over 10 plus 15 over 10. And 34 plus 15 gives us 49 over 10. And lastly, 4/5 plus 1/3. So we're adding. Let's cross, some people call this cross multiplying, but in this case, we're just gonna call it our butterfly method. 4 times 3, 12, and 1 times 5 is 5. So we have our two numerators. That's what these are, our new numerators. And then we're gonna multiply down here to find a common denominator, which is 15. So then our new fractions that we are adding, we can write it one of two ways. We can write 12 plus 5 over 15, or this is the same thing, 12/15 plus 5/15. Still gonna give us the same thing. The difference is I combined up here, made it into 1, which I'm gonna eventually do in my answer. And here I broke it down into 2 separate fractions. So I can add 12 plus 5, which is 17, and still the same thing here. 12 plus 5, which is 17, and since my denominators are the same, just bring it over, which is 17/15. Okay, campers? So hopefully you all use the butterfly method that we've learned the past few days to figure out how to add and subtract fractions. Don't forget, believe in yourself.